right, Gaurav. Thanks a lot. Hey guys, very good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I believe few of you did have a class before this, right? And you're continuing the class. So I feel sorry for you. But about that, I cannot do much, right? So maybe I can request Gaurav to reschedule or schedule in such a way that you guys get a break in between so that you're not burdened with the list of classes that we do during weekends, right? Okay, so we know what we are dealing with today, right? So we are getting on to the continuation of our topic, which is numbers. And where did we stop last time? Anyone? Any clue?
So rational numbers and irrational numbers.
Rational numbers and irrational numbers. Thank you, Shwarna. So I presume that all of you do have your notebook and pen that's required. So we proceed further ahead of rational numbers. Now, we did talk about rational numbers, right? And we said that rational numbers are numbers which are in the format of P by Q, right? So in that case, so we said 1 by 3, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 2 by 3, all these values are rational numbers, correct? So tell me, the values that I am writing now, 0.44 and so on, 0.244 and so on, 0.252525, so on. Are these rational numbers? Yes? Okay. So if they are rational, right? So if they are rational numbers, you can actually nod your head because I can see you all, right? So then I can understand what you're trying to tell, unless and until you have a doubt. If you have a doubt, please unmute yourself and ask me straight. So if this is a rational number, then it means that there should be a P by Q form of this, because we know that every rational number has a P by Q form. So even this value should have a P by Q form, right? So what would be the P by Q form of 0.444444 and so on? Anyone? What would be the P by Q form of 0.444444? Okay. So before I get there, one question. What is the P by Q form of 0.3333? All right. Before we get into that, then, what is the P by Q form of 0.5?
1 by 2.
10. That means
1 by 2.
Yeah, 5 by 10, or that is nothing but 1 by 2. So this has a P by Q form. So what's the P by Q form of 0.3333? Takshil, I think you said the
1
answer.
by 3.
Yes, 10 by 3.
Not 10 by 3, 1 by 3. 10 by 3 would be 3.3333. Okay, so it's 1 by 3. So all these things on the left hand side is a rational number. So it basically has a P by Q form, right? The point is, how do I find out what the P by Q form is? So let me give you a very easy method of finding a P by Q form. Okay, let's say I have a 0.3333 itself. Remember, this can be written as 0.3 bar. Okay, the bar represents the digits under that are repeating. So how do I convert this to a P by Q? Very simple way is look out how many digits. Listen to this very carefully, because that becomes much easier compared to anything else that you do. Find out how many unique digits, okay, how many different digits are repeating. So there is only one digit repeating, which is 3. So I write that 3 in the numerator. And in the denominator, how many digits did I write in the numerator? 1 digit. So in the denominator, I will write 19. That's it. So numerator basically will contain all the distinct digits that's repeating. Whereas the denominator will contain number of nines based on number of digits in the numerator. So if I give you something like a 0.77777, how many unique digits do you see repeating? Just one. 7 is the only digit which is repeating itself. So that becomes your numerator. And since there is only one digit in the numerator, how many nines in the denominator? 1 9. So 7 by 9 becomes the P by Q form. Did you all get this? Right? So if I have to... Sorry?
Sir, why 9 only?
Why 9? Okay, I'll come to this. So if I give you, let's say, so I'm assuming that all of you have written this. Can I erase the sheet, the screen? Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So I'll tell you why 9, because if in case you forget why 9, then that becomes easier. So let's take a number like 0.4444. Okay? Let's say this is X. Remember, 4 is repeating infinite number of times. Now, because there is only one digit repeating, I will multiply both sides by 10. Because there is only one digit repeating, I will multiply both sides by 10. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
If you had 2 digits repeating, you would have multiplied by 100. If you have 3 digits repeating, you would have multiplied by 1000. Okay? So it keeps on going that way. Now, so when you do 10 into 0.4444, what do you get? You get this value as 4.444. Remember, 4 is infinite list of numbers, right? So you'll have 4.444, whereas the right-hand side is going to be 10x. So you have one place where you have a value 10x, which is equal to 4.444, and you have an original value given to you where x is nothing but 0.444. Now, guys, tell me, if there are two equations given to you, how will you eliminate anything after the decimal point? What will you do to eliminate the decimal point?
Subtract both the equations.
Subtract both the equations. So let's do first equation minus the second equation. So what happens on the left-hand side? You are left with only 4. Because after the decimal point, everything cancels out. And what happens to the right-hand side? You are left with 9x. So why did you get that 9x? You got that 9x because you multiplied by 10. Had you multiplied by 100, what you would have got?
99.
99.
99. Had you multiplied by 1000, what you would have got?
909.
999. So basically, you can say x is nothing but 4 by 9, which means that if I have a number like 0.25252525, because there are 2 digits here, what you would multiply by? 100? Right?
Yes.
And then when you subtract, what do you get? 99?
Yes.
So basically, the P by Q form of this would be write the 2 digits which are distinct, followed by write 2 nines, because there are 2 digits in the numerator. Did you understand this, guys?
Yes, sir.
All of you? Pretty straightforward, simple, right? But the simplicity remains as long as the question is also simple. Please note what's happening in both the examples I have given, or if I give you one more example, let's say 0.023. Then what would be the P by Q form of this? Remember, there is a 0, 2, 3. Will this be 23 by 999?
Yes.
Or will this be
Yes,
23 by 99? What would this be?
999.
23 by 999.
Right, it will be 23 by 999 because 0 is also called as a digit, right? It's also a digit in a number. So there are 3 digits here. So you would have 3 nines in the denominator. Did you guys understand this? Right. Now, the only thing that you have to remember is all these kinds of questions or all these examples that I have taken, comes under a category called as pure recurring number. Can anyone tell me why does this come under the category of pure recurring number? Whereas, I'll give you an example here. Whereas, an example of this nature is not a pure recurring number. Can you now tell me why?
In a pure recurring number, all the digits after the decimal point recur, and in the other one, all the digits do not recur.
Correct. So in a pure recurring number, every digit after the decimal point repeats. Okay. Whereas when you have a impure recurring number, a mixed recurring number, there will be certain digits which will not repeat, and then there will be certain digits which keep repeating itself. Remember, this is also a rational number. So how do I convert this value to P by Q? Okay. So if I have to calculate, if I have to convert this value to P by Q, the easiest way of doing that, I'm erasing the left-hand side of the screen. The easiest way of doing or converting a pure recurring or mixed recurring number to a P by Q form is write all the distinct digits that you see. Please look into the screen. We will write things later. Write all the distinct digits on the screen. So you have 1 and 6 as the two distinct digits. So you write 1 and 6. From this 1 and 6, you subtract the digit which is not repeating. So from 1 and 6, you subtract the digit which is not repeating. Did you all understand this? Write all the unique digits that you see on the screen. So you have 0.23434. So I will write all the unique digits that I have. From this, I will subtract the digit which is not repeating. Similarly, in the third case of third, I will write all the unique digits that I see. From that, I will subtract the digit which is not repeating. I hope all of you understood this step. This becomes your numerator. This is your numerator. Okay. So now, if I take the first one, 0.1666, how many digit is repeating? There's only one digit repeating. So that many 9s. Remember in the previous question also, we were writing 9 based on the number of digits repeating, correct? So here also 9 will be only based on the number of digits repeating. And how many digit is not repeating? One digit is not repeating. So 1, 0. So 9 is for the digits which are repeating. If you want, I'll write it here. 9 is for the digits which are repeating. And 0 is for the digits which are not repeating. I hope all of you have understood. Okay. So if I look at 234 minus 2, how do I convert this? 234 minus 2 is your numerator divided by how many digits are repeating? 3 and 4 are the two digits repeating. So 2 9s. How many digits not repeating? One digit not repeating. So 1 0. So can anyone tell me what would be the denominator of the third one? 2 3 4 5 4 5 4 5.
9900.
9900.
9 9 because there are two digits which are repeating. 0
Yes.
0 because there are two digits which are not repeating. Did we all understand this? And once you simplify, obviously this doesn't stop here. You have to simplify this, right? 2 3 4 5 minus 23 divided by 9900 is what you will solve. Clear with how to convert a rational number to a P by Q form, guys?
Sir, can you show one more example?
Okay. So I want you to give me a number. Give any number of your choice.
0.729.
Okay. What is repeating? Nothing's repeating. That's it. Subtract those digits which are not repeating. So 72 is not repeating. This becomes my numerator. And in the denominator, how many digits are repeating? There is only one digit which is 9 repeating itself. So there will be only one 9. And there are two digits which are not repeating, which means there will be two zeros. Did you all understand this? Priyanka, Surabhi, Sheila? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Okay, Anand,
doubt.
Achintya,
Yes,
got
sir.
it? Great.
Yeah, got it.
Excuse me, sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, what if the number before the decimal point is not 0? What if the number is like 3.333, something like that?
Okay. So, see, basically, let's understand how do we add values, right? There are two concepts to a number. There is an integral part, and then there is a decimal part. Correct? So let's say you are talking about a 3.12222. Remember, when there is a decimal point and an integral point, a number can always be written as a split of the two. Correct? Now you know how to work this?
Yes,
How do you
sir.
work this? It's 12 minus 1 divided by 19 because there is one digit repeating, 10 because one digit not repeating. And what is the integral part you have? A 3 plus. Correct? So what does this become? 3 plus 11 by 90. Do I know how to solve this? Right?
Yes, sir.
So that's it. So the integral part really does not matter. Okay? What matters is what comes after the decimal point. More often, simple way of saying why is this important for us is because sometimes a test ends up asking you a question like 1.22222 plus 0.16666. What is the value? Okay, this is what it says. So I have to first convert this into a P by Q form, which is 1 plus 2 by 9. Okay, I hope all of you know how I got 2 by 9. And then this is 16 minus 1 by 90. So I have 1 plus 2 by 9 plus 15 by 90. I have to solve this. Jayashri, 1 plus 2 by 9 plus 1 by 6. 15 by 90 is nothing but 15 6. Jayashri, can you go mute, please?
Gaurav, could you please mute Jayashree? Gaurav,
Jayashri, can you please mute yourself?
Jayashree, Gaurav, could you please mute Jayashree? 1 sec, sir. I mean, excuse me, guys.
Okay. So I hope all of you understood how to proceed further from this. So this is your rational numbers, correct? Now the next place where our knowledge has to be important. They are very basic, but very important. And that's basically called as divisibility rule. Okay. Now, why is divisibility rule important? So let me take a question while I So that is a question which says 5, 6, 6, 8, x, 2, 5, y is divisible by 48. What is the smallest value of x plus y? Okay, this is a question. Now, before we enter this, we need to know two things, two or more things. One, what's a prime number? Okay, but sorry, I hope you guys have written this question. We will come to this question before that. I had another thing to cover up, which I missed out. So now, once we have understood rational numbers, can anyone tell me how is rational numbers further divided as? So I'm going to give you a clue. There are three ways, three parts in which rational numbers are divisible or are segregated. Can someone tell me how is rational numbers segregated in three parts?
So prime
This is-
number, composite number, and
That's again later stage. Before that,
Integers, whole numbers,
continue and
Natural number.
natural.
thank you. Right. So rational numbers are also broken into three parts. One is a set of natural numbers. One is a set of whole numbers. And one is set of integers. What do you mean by natural numbers?
So from 1.
Numbers starting from 1.
1.
Remember, we never say numbers starting from 1 to infinity. We only say numbers starting from 1. Why? Why we never say numbers starting from 1 to infinity? And why do we only say that numbers starting from 1? Anyone can give me a clue? Natural numbers are numbers which start from 1. Never ever we say, or we should say, that natural numbers are numbers which start from 1 to infinity.
Because between 1 to infinity, there are decimal numbers also.
No, not that reason, Tina, because natural numbers are basically what numbers? Countable numbers. Any number that you can count is a natural number. What is an infinity? What is infinite? What is infinity? Something that cannot be counted. And that's why it is not a natural number. Can you count 0? No, you don't count 0. Okay. Have you ever made a statement that when you're in school, do you make statement that I do not have a pen, or do you make statement that I am carrying 0 pen? You always make a statement that I do not have pen, I do not have money, right? I do not have recharge, or I do not have a battery. You never say 0 because you cannot count it, right? That's why natural numbers always begin from 1. 1, 2, 3, and so on are called as natural numbers because they can be counted. I can count the number of students sitting in this class, right? So all these values that I can count is a set of natural numbers. Did you all understand this? Great. A whole number is a number which is complete in its nature. For example, if you have an empty room, it is one empty space. If you put a partition in this empty room, then how many empty spaces do you have? Question to you is, if you have an empty room, you have one empty space. If you put a partition in between this room, right, break this room into 2 parts, both being still empty, how many empty spaces do you have? Do you have 2 empty spaces, or do you have half an each? Do you say you have 2 empty space, or do you say you have half an each empty
2
space?
empty space. 2 empty
You
spaces.
say you have 2 empty space, right? So basically, it's because everything is complete by itself. If you guys have a pen with a cap, if you guys are carrying a pen with a cap, okay? When the pen is with the cap, you have one piece, one object in your hand. When you have a pen with a cap, you have one object in your pen, object in your hand. But when you remove the pen from, when you remove the cap from the pen, you have two objects in your hand. Try to understand this. You don't say you have 1/3 and 2/3 object in your hand. You don't say you have 3/4 and 1/4 object in your hand, because the pen is part of, if you have a chalk piece and break it into two parts, you have two portions of chalk pieces. You don't have half a portion each. Because every time you break something, it is still complete in by itself. Okay? You exchange a 20 rupee note to two 10 rupee notes, you have two 10 rupee notes. Clear with this? So every time you break something, it's complete in itself, and that's why whole numbers are still complete in itself. And now 0 is a number which is complete in itself. You cannot break 0. Okay, so thus whole numbers begin from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3 are all called as whole numbers. So please understand the difference between a natural number and a whole number. A whole number is a number which is complete in itself. A natural number is a number which can be counted, and that's why 0 doesn't fall under natural number. It falls under the set of whole numbers. Come to the next portion, which is integers. What do you mean by integers? Numbers when you give positive and negative sign. Positive and negative sign to set of whole numbers excluding 0. Then it becomes integers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. -1, -2, -3, and so on. So you have negative numbers, you have 0, and you have positive numbers. These are set of integers. Okay. So now the first basic question is 0 a positive or a negative number?
No, it's neither positive nor negative, sir.
It's neither positive nor negative. It's a neutral number. Okay, 0 is neither positive nor negative. So I'm erasing this now, and now coming to one of the most trickiest questions asked. Okay, the questions are: how many non-positive integers are there between -10 to +10, including both? Including both means I have to include -10 as well as +10. So can someone tell me how many non-positive integers are there between -10 and +10?
11.
10.
10.
10.
Okay, so the total
10.
non-positive integers between -10 and +10 are the person who said the first answer, 11. Which are the non-positive integers? 0,
Less than and equal to 0.
0, -1, -2, -3, -4. They are all non-positive integers. Remember this, guys. Non-positive does not mean that it has to be positive. It means, non-positive doesn't mean that it has to be negative. It means that the number should not be positive. Okay? It means that the number should not be positive. So 0 has to be included because 0 is not positive. But in case the question says how many positive numbers are there, then I will not include 0 because 0 is not positive. So you have to be very careful in the way the question is worded. Non-positive and non-negative, when you see this word, remember to use 0 in your calculation. But when you do not see this word, you see only positive and negative, then remember to ignore 0 in your calculation. Do you understand the difference between the two of them? Don't make such silly mistakes, because most of the people usually mess up their entire aptitude test because of these silly mistakes. Okay? Now comes the natural number. So natural numbers are now defined, can be defined as odd, even. So I presume all of you know what an odd number, what an even number is, right? Then prime, composite. I hope all of you know what a prime number and a composite number is. Can someone define what a prime number is?
Numbers
The
that are
number which is
divisible
Yeah,
by
yeah,
itself
someone.
and 1.
A number that's divisible by 1 and the number itself is a prime number. Okay. So what is 1? 1 is 1 a prime number, or is 1 a composite number, or is 1 neither prime nor composite?
Neither prime nor composite.
1 is neither prime nor composite. Anyone knows why?
So it has only one factor.
Absolutely right, Vartika. 1 is divisible by only one number, which is 1. Okay, it's not divisible by any other number. Okay, that's why 1 is neither prime nor composite. A prime number is divisible by exactly 2 numbers. So you can write this down if you want to, right? All of you can write this. Prime numbers are divisible by exactly 2 numbers, or I can say they have exactly think of 2 numbers. Can you think of 2 numbers whose product is 12? I'm asking you to think, don't tell me. Think of 2 numbers whose product is 12. Okay? Now, some of you would have thought of 2 into 6. Some of you would have thought of 3 into 4. Now, the point is, between 2 and 6, is there any common factor? What's a common factor? Common factor means a number that can divide 2 and that can divide 6. Between 2 and 6, is there a common factor? Yes. 2 can divide 2, 2 can divide 6. Correct? Between 3 and 4, is there any common factor? Is there any number that can divide 3 as well as divide 4?
No, sir.
No. So to find the divisibility rule of 12, I have to find the divisibility rule for 3 and divisibility rule for 4. Are you able to understand this, guys? You have to find a product of the number. You have to find the number as product of 2 numbers such that there is no common factor between the 2 numbers. You have to search for such a number. So if someone is asking you to find divisibility of rule for 18, my question to you is, what will you pick? 3 into 6, 2 into 9. Which one will you pick?
2 into 9.
2 into 9.
You will pick 2 into 9 because 2 and 9 do not have any common factor, whereas 3 and 6 has a common factor. Did you all understand this? So can you tell me what would you look for a divisibility rule for 24? Find out how can you get 24 by multiplying 2 numbers.
So 3 into 8.
These are the only three ways you can get 24 by multiplying two numbers. So which one will you use?
3 into
Divisibility of 3 and divisibility of 8. Did you all understand this?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now comes the fact of a divisibility rule for 11. Okay. Okay. If anyone tells me what is the divisibility rule for 7, then, or anyone wants to ask what's the divisibility rule of 7, then the easiest way of finding divisibility of 7 is divide directly. Okay. There is no rule for it. Divisibility rule for 11. Write down, please. This is something that we have to write down. The difference between the sum of the digits at even places and the sum of the digits at the odd places should be either 0 or multiple of 11. So if I'm giving you a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 0, the number that we picked up last time, I will first take the sum of the digits at even places. Even places doesn't mean even number, guys. Even places means digits in the place, second place, fourth place, sixth place. So this is the second place. This is the fourth place. Unfortunately, because it's I've written serial numbers, so all even places will be even digits here. So I take the sum of the digits in its even place. That's 20. Then I take the sum of the digits at its odd place. 1 plus 3, 3 plus 5, 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 5, 9, 9 plus 7, 16, 16 plus 0, 16. What does the question, what does the statement say? That the difference between should be either 0 or multiple of 11. Now this is 4. The difference is not 0. The difference is not a multiple of 11. That's why this number is now not divisible by 11. Did you guys understand?
Yes.
yes, sir.
Okay. So now what kind of questions can come here, right? What kind of questions can come here? The question that can come is this. Oops. Can you all see the question here? What must be added to 315642 so that it becomes a multiple of 11? So that's a question. Okay. What should I be added to 315642 so that it becomes a multiple of 11? Now, to do this, all I have to do is take 315642 and divide it by 11. As simple as that, guys. Okay. So if I do that, 11 2s are 22, 9, 95, 11 8s are 88, 7, 76, 6 are 66, 10, 104, 9s are 99, 5, 52, right? 52, so 4s are 44. So the remainder is 8. What does remainder mean? What does remainder mean? That 315642 minus 8 is divisible by 11. This is what it means. Remainder means that extra portion which if I remove, then the number is divisible by 11. Clear? Right. But the question is not asking how much you have to remove. The question is asking how much you have to add. So how much do you think I should add?
3.
Right. If 8 is the remainder, then I have to add 3 more, so that I bring this number to 315645. And now when I divide this by 11, the remainder, the place here will not be 8, but the place will here become 11. So now it's divisible. So guys, this is one way of doing it. But this is dividing it, right? So what is the easier way of doing this? Easier way of doing this is, I'm erasing this because that's not of a use. Easier way of doing this was taking the divisibility rule of 11. Yeah, right? What is 3 plus 5? 8. 8 plus 4? 12. What is 1 plus 6? 7. 7 plus 2? 9. One value is 12, one value is 9. What is the difference? 3. That's why 3 has to be added. So I will end up taking the divisibility rule to solve such questions. I hope you understood why divisibility rules are important. They are not important because people are going to ask you to divide a number. They're important because people are going to ask you crazy questions like how much you need to add for the number to be divisible. Okay. So if you have understood the divisibility rule, that's enough. Keep that in your hand. Do you guys remember the number the question that I had given you before this? The question is?
So 5668x. So can I tell the question?
If an 8-digit number, I put the question here, if you guys can see on the screen. If an 8-digit number 5668 x25y is divisible by 48, then what is the smallest least value of x plus y? This is what I want. Okay, least value of x plus y. So this is your homework. You got 1 week's time to solve this. Did you understand the question, guys? So I'll give you a clue before you exit. Can you guys tell me what divisibility rule should I see? Can anyone tell me what divisibility rule should I check? Remember, I'm dividing by 48. So first find out what are the product of 2 numbers which can give you 48. Yeah, Takshil?
16 and 3.
Correct. So 48 is nothing but 2 into 24, but I cannot see this because they have a common factor. 48 is 3 into 16, and this does not have a common factor. Okay. Remember, 48 is also 4 into 12, but both 2 divides both 4 as well as 12. 48 is also 6 into 8, but 2 divides 6 and 2 divides 8. So the rule that I have to apply for is find the divisibility of 3, divisibility rule of 16. So what is the divisibility rule of 3? Remember, sum of the digits. And what is the divisibility rule of 16? Last
4 digits.
4 digits. So we will use this and solve. So I want you guys to try solving this. This is the first question we will solve when we meet the next class. Clear with it? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Anyone with any doubt, please let me know. If no doubts, then goodbye. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend.
Sir, how to remember the questions of decimal places?
How to remember what?
Sir, questions of decimal places, like I'll forget after some time.
I didn't get you.
Sir, I mean, how from where I can practice the questions of decimal places?
Of the rational numbers questions you're talking
Yes,
about.
sir. Yes,
अच्छा,
sir.
rational numbers का एक काम करो, गौरव सर से बोलो थोड़े questions भेजने के लिए. He should be able to send you. अगर नहीं मिल रहा है, then let me know. I will send it across to Gaurav sir. Okay?
Okay.
Right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sir,
Right,
is
guys.
it there on the Ignite India app? The questions?
I have uploaded, but Gaurav sir has to confirm it. So why don't you guys just drop a text to Gaurav sir to figure out?
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, I have questions. I can always send it across. No issues. Right? Chalo. All right, guys. Thanks a lot then. See ya.
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.